it. Canberra, the drive, long drive that I don't find
that you don't find enjoyable anymore. So,
yes, that's right. We're back. Just saying because I don't know. We've been having some issues with this today.
it's one of those days.
Yeah,
One
it's
of
like
those
Joe
days.
Rogan and his tricoda or something. You know how he used to have like issues with YouTube?
Mm.
He was just blanking out when he was
Yeah.
doing his live videos. What do you think of doing that?
Live.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's going to watch, so it doesn't really matter whether it's live or not, right?
Try it out. I don't know.
Yeah, so back on the topic of Canberra or escape rope, that's available for
Soon.
purchase.
Soon.
Just let us know if you want to buy one and we'll work it out. We'll work out the logistics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess back to Canberra, you don't enjoy the drive anymore. It's just
Maybe now I would, but back then it's just
maybe for recreation.
yeah,
it might be different.
Yeah.
But anybody in Sydney who wants to head down to Canberra, there is a couple of wineries on the way down to Canberra and on the way back.
Really?
Yeah, apparently Canberra or the surrounding areas of Canberra has some nice wineries.
Yeah.
And I actually learned a little bit about wine when I was there as well.
Oh, dish out some knowledge, please.
Please, I'm not
Teach
the
me,
wine guy
sir.
here, but so they were telling me that because Canberra is a bit of a cooler climate,
Right.
the wines generally aren't as sweet. The warmer climate of, let's say, the Hunter Valley produces sweeter wines because the warmer weather and sort of longer sunshine allows the grapes to ripen quicker and for the sugar content to increase much quicker.
That's pretty cool.
So their wines are generally sweeter, which I tend to agree.
Have you bought some wine from Canberra when you were there?
I have indeed. I bought a bottle from the Lake George winery and some other one starting with L, Lederman or something. We'll have some in the show notes. But
Defer to the show notes, people.
yeah. So that was my weekend. I understand that this past week has been a bit of a crazy one for you.
Oh, we're switching
And-
topics already.
Yeah. Well, might as well get into it.
Okay, go on.
And
Shoot.
and I think this is probably where we need to also apologize to our audience
Oh yeah.
for missing last week. So, work, life, just sometimes just
You might not realize, but anyone who does a podcast, who want to do a podcast, don't realize this at first. But it is a lot of work to put out, to create an episode of of a podcast, especially so now that Ron and I are doing video podcasts and chucking out on YouTube and whatnot. So that adds to the workload that I have to do because I'm the one that mainly does all the audio editing and all the mastering and all that stuff.
So if you have any questions or if you want to, are you starting another podcast or anything like that, here's the guy to talk to.
Yeah.
In order for productions and whatever else.
I'm keen to put out a Patreon tier for people who want to learn how to do podcasts because I'll be happy to teach you guys everything that I've learned so far in the 1 year that we've been on this journey. And it's a really interesting one. Like anything from how to edit and also what equipment you need, all that stuff.
It's kind of like a masterclass.
Yeah, masterclass. Why not?
Yeah.
I should probably do that.
Junior class, maybe?
Huh?
Junior class?
Yeah.
Almost there.
I'm so keen though. Like every time we go into podcasts, I get so excited with like fresh new ideas that I like to throw out. It's just about, I think it's just about the execution, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for people who have been listening for a while, I'm sure they would have heard the difference from our earlier podcasts or earlier episodes to now. Just the level of quality, the pre-recording checks that we do to make sure there's no what do you call it, the
Nosebleed?
All that stuff. And yeah, there's a lot in the a lot that's done in the background that doesn't really show up.
Yeah.
And obviously we're not talking about the process every week, so
it's fascinating stuff anyways. Especially so that everything that I use here, like the video content, the video gear, the lighting and all that stuff. I actually use it for work. And like Ron said, the reason why we missed the episode last week is because I was too busy editing for other people and shooting for other people.
For people that actually pays it money. We don't get paid for any of this. So
Yeah.
So you got to prioritize.
Yeah, I know. I felt pretty bad. I felt pretty bad.
It is what it is.
Yeah. I felt like I failed you, man.
Well, you did, but I mean,
Oi.
I'm joking. I mean, there's not too much I can really help you with, so
Yeah.
I can't really say anything. And I understand. You're still really, really focused on really building that career as a videographer, photographer, all that stuff. So
I've been wondering about that. Okay, so I've been heading on this path of doing videography and photography, but there's also this aspect of being my own boss. Always looking for different ways to make money, right? And try and figure out a way to actually create a passive income.
Yeah.
Right. By passive income, I refer to Gary Vee. That word doesn't actually exist. It's really about putting the work up front and then figuring out how to automate the process. Right. And there's a couple of things I've been seeing. Like, I mean, even I've actually talked to you last week about it. I want to automate the podcast as well, because there are things, even though we're not making at the moment, like what do we actually enjoy, you and me, right? We enjoy sitting there in front of the microphone, having deep conversations and and generally talking to each other regarding our interests, right? So if we don't want to deal with like the mediocre stuff, like editing or the silences and the noises and all that stuff, So yeah.
So we've been looking at getting a sound editor on board just do some of the more mundane aspects of the production, which hopefully means that it frees Foong up for making money elsewhere.
I mean, like, there's a couple of things I learned over the years in all the readings I've done, mainly Tim Ferriss. And for those who haven't read his book, The 4-Hour Workweek, he talks a lot about that, about how to automate yourself in the business. Because in a business, you don't it's not very efficient for you to do all the work, right?
And you shouldn't as well. I mean, there's reasons why even in the corporate world, those people who are at the executive level, they're not dealing with the minutiae of the day-to-days. That's they could probably learn how to do it, but
sure,
is obviously not a clear valuable use of their time. And I think that's the same for you as well. I think a lot of these sound editing that can be done by virtually anyone with a little bit of experience.
Because we've been doing the podcast for like a year now, right? And for those people out there, if you're doing something for so long, you kind of figure out that there are things that you do that are highly repetitive, right? For example, in our case, it's just me coming in, editing the silences out, and now doing the jump cuts for the video, right? So you match the audio. That stuff is highly repetitive, and I don't think I need to sit down and do that over and over and over again if I can pay someone an hour of their time to do that for me.
Yeah, and talking about paying people to do some of the more mundane, more simpler tasks, that frees you up to do other things. That's more sort of something that you can
That's right.
You can spend your real time on.
That's right.
You've done that with what you're doing, some of your video work, and that's something that I assume you're going to expand out going forward in your whatever work you're going to do.
What do you think about that? Like, how I experiment with my money like that, just spend a little bit of money here and there just to see if it works.
Yeah, I mean, at first it if you were to bring me that idea.
And the idea that we're referring to is using services like Fiverr or Upwork or Freelancer, right, to buy someone's time, who has a skill set to help you out with your endeavor, your projects and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have told me, 6 months ago, I probably wouldn't be as supportive of it because I wouldn't really see the value of it.
Right.
But now that I can see how much time you have to put in for your other projects,
Mm.
and how much time that's. I think more the simpler work that you do is for sound editing here almost seems like a waste of your time that you could be doing something else. You could be dealing with something else.
I don't think I want to call it a waste of time. It's really
Sorry.
it's like how do I optimize my
That's
my
right.
time,
So
yeah.
how to sort of take yourself out of that
Yeah.
loop.
Yeah, because
You
I
don't
mean,
need to be there.
if you ask me like to do this, if I had nothing else on, I'd happily do it. Like I enjoy the process. I learned so much editing the podcast.
And I think that's why 3-6 months ago, I probably would have been like, you're not doing that much during the week, because back then you were still dealing with the market, so that's maybe 4 days a week.
Yeah.
But now your grind is almost 7 days, depending on whatever job you can get. So now it's quite different, and certainly when circumstances change, I think it makes sense to have a change in mindset.
Yeah.
But I do see that you bringing that to me as something that's kind of an interesting concept, because I've never really thought about paying somebody to do something that I could do. That's not really something that really makes sense to me normally. But then when I think about it, really, I do have time, so that's why I do those mundane things. But for you're sort of like running out of time, going to this shoot, going to that shoot. You just don't have enough time to deal with this, the podcast.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why it makes sense to bring somebody in.
Sure.
And it is interesting that you're bringing it to me. Like, it's.
But I did bring it in a way that, hey, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, I don't want to do this work. Can we offload it to somebody else? It's not about that. It's like, well, I want to do this, but I literally cannot.
Yeah,
right?
It's all about.
You saw from last week, because we couldn't release because of my own inability to let go of everything.
Well, time constraints, right?
Yeah.
And if you brought this to me when we first started, I feel like we just started,
right? Yeah.
And again, this frees you up to do other things that you need to do, and potentially it might free you up to do more creative stuff for this podcast.
How do you think, say, a client would think about this, right? Because obviously they're paying you money to do the work for them. How do you reckon? Okay, let's put in a scenario, right? So say you're contracting me for some video work. You're expecting me to do the work, right? How would you feel if I told you like, hey, okay, I'll get my staff to do it for me, and then we'll get that delivery to you next week, for example?
I would. It depends. It depends. I think if you're coming from a sort of a big-ish, well, not even big, like semi-established firm.
Yeah.
That obviously I know that there's going to be other people working there.
Okay.
And I know that it's possible that it won't be you working on it all the time.
Sure.
Then I would probably expect that there will be maybe someone else doing it part-time or working on it full-time even.
But what's the difference if I was doing it to you?
As in, well, because I think you're just yourself, right? And I would expect you to work on it.
Right.
Because I
totally disagree with that.
Because the way I see it is, if I wanted you to work on it because I've seen your work, I probably would want you to work on it, your personal touch.
Okay.
So whether I know that there's other people working on it or not, I don't know. Like, I'll never know.
The whole thing is like, yeah, there's someone else that's working on it at my instructions. Is this not the same thing? It's basically like, you remember how that shirt you got designed? Technically, you designed it. I don't care who says it. You designed it because you put in the thought. You told the designer like, hey, this is what I want. Here's the money that I work for my time, transferred into this lump of metal or paper, giving it to you. That's my time. Now you take my time and go do the work I want to do.
Well, the difference is that I'm not telling you that I can do this shirt. I can create this shirt myself. I need other people to do it.
But you can do that shirt.
So when people purchase things that's sort of based on somebody hand making it,
Yeah.
like, and the person hand making it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm coming from. Like, I want the person who has created, a piece of art or something, handmade it. I want that person to be doing it. That's what I'm paying for.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the case, and I found out that everything that they've made comes from China or something like that, I would be a little bit annoyed, right? Because I'm paying almost a premium for this person to hand create something for me.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's just been subcontracted some person in India or Philippines or whatever, I'm like, hey, where's that personal touch?
That's interesting that you think like that, because a lot of companies do that. I mean, do you think that the iPhone comes from California, where
No.
the iPhone headquarters actually is? It's not.
But
a lot of
again,
it comes from China.
But the difference is that
China.
it's a massive company.
It is.
And I don't expect who's the main guy now? Tim Cook. I don't expect him to be like, putting the iPhone together, give it to me.
Mate, if that iPhone was made by Tim Cook, I swear it would probably be worth like $1 million or something like that.
Yeah,
just for like one unit.
Dude, if he just inscribed his name on it, he'll sell for $1 million.
Branding is such a beautiful thing, isn't it?
It is. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. And I also know that the wedding photo, wedding video industry, I know that they subcontract people to do a lot of the quick editing.
Yeah.
And then they sort of, the main people do the final editing. I get that.
You know what I found out the other day about like real estate, right? Like some real estate agents contract a photographer to shoot an empty room, send that photo to Vietnam to get, I forgot what the word actually is. Something rotoscoping. I don't think that's the right word, but there's a word for it, like where they actually put in the furniture for you and make it look legit with the right angle, right shadow, and all the jazz. And
that makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So that's so much cheaper than getting an interior designer to come in and furnish the place just for you to do a shoot.
Well, it's cheaper and it's just quicker. It's a time thing. Right?
And yet, I've seen some people. Actually, I've seen some people do that for high-end $1 million homes as well. They get like the real estate agent would spend the money to get an interior designer to come in to furnish the whole place with furnitures that they got in their arsenal, and then a videographer comes in, takes a video of the house, and then they put it up on their website.
Look, maybe my expectations are kind of off, but when I think about there's like those restaurants where there's a celebrity chef sort of attached to it.
Yeah.
But he's actually not working there. He created the menu.
Sure.
And then some people just recreate it. I'm thinking, hey, I was hoping that chef will be here to cook us dinner, right?
Right.
But I
isn't that like the sort of rich sort of mentality where you pay an actual chef to cook at your table?
Well, if I'm going to pay that kind of money anyway, I expect the main guy to be doing it.
Yeah.
But I guess also it's the expectation. If you set the expectation that you're going to be working on it, you're going to be doing everything. Kind of hope that that's the case. But if it's sort of like, if the expectation is that I'm going to get this done for you, how are you going to get done? I don't know, but it's going to get done for me at this quality. Then okay, maybe you'll have somebody in here to help you out. And I certainly hope that when we do get a sound edit in here, that the quality is going to be as good and we can pass it off as our own work.
Hey man, that's definitely the case. So we'll let you know how it goes. I'm planning to hire out a VA on Upwork from the Philippines.
And I think we will probably document that process.
That'd be dope. Why not?
What
right?
What we learned.
Yeah.
What mistakes that we made, and with these VAs, they do a million different things, right?
Sure.
You get VAs who just data entry. There's VAs that does video editing.
Yeah.
And whatever we learn, I'm sure it would apply to other VAs as well. So what you should look out for, what you should ask for, and what you should expect.
Right. That's an interesting thing. I can't wait for that. I want to see what quality they can bring out in, or what else they can add their own flair into the podcast. Right, that might make a little bit more interesting.
And you know, if they are a professional,
Yeah.
which they are because they're getting paid for that work, you might learn something from them, like a little trick.
This is okay. This is a question for you. What are you hoping for this free time to happen? Right. What are you hoping to see? What changes are you expecting from the escape rope if we obviously hire this help?
Well, I hope there's no change to the quality.
Yeah.
In that it's still good quality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if anything, it's better quality somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how it can be better, but certainly wherever they can put in their touch to make it better, I'm all for it. But really, I think the idea is really just to free you up from some of the, what is it, 2 hours, 3 hours,
2-3 hours a week that need to do to edit just the audio,
and that's just basically editing just some of the silences and all that all that shit, right? It's like not even like doing creative stuff.
Yeah.
So if that frees you up, you know, a couple of hours extra a week, you know, that could probably.
I'm keen. So the reason why I'm asking you for this, because in my head I'm already thinking of the possibilities of freeing myself up. I could be like, okay, I could sit here and upload all the older episode on YouTube. You know, we could do something with that while this is happening, while the edit is happening, and we're still releasing every single week. I could be working on the website to make it more legit, right? And I could work on like courses that I could provide for people who want to learn about podcasting or even blogging. You know,
it's more time to work on.
I can't wait for that. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, and this sort of also coincides with us going on video.
Yeah,
that's an extra, you know, bit of editing that you have to do, and
man,
that's almost doubling the amount of work that you have to do for just video.
Yeah.
So
it's moving, man. It's moving. Can't wait. I cannot wait.
Should be fun.
Yeah.
Should be good, I think. Yeah. For you to get back a couple of hours, I'm sure you'll find something valuable to do with it. I hope.
Yeah. All right, man. You want to call it?
Yeah. Let's call it.
All right. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to the Escape Rope podcast. Now, since we're on YouTube, I just want to say, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, also hit that notification button, that little bell icon, you know what I mean? And also,
like corner?
It's
that corner? I don't know.
Well, it's this corner. Somewhere
this corner.
It's this corner.
Okay,
we're still getting used to that, guys. Also, guys, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We are at Escape Rope or the Escape Rope, guys. So if you have any questions for us, please hit us up because we'd love to hear from you. I mean, come on, there's a lot of content to be had, and I want to know what you want to say so we can feature you guys on this podcast.
And if you think our posture is shit, just let us know. So then we'll be like, you know, straight up.
You know what's funny? Like on the actual monitor, I can see myself. Like the little the vector scope is actually hiding my belly, so I can actually see.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my god, I just realized. So yeah.
Or the other thing that people can do as well is support us.
Yes.
Through Patreon.
Yep.
There's nothing there just yet, but any help would be appreciated.
Yeah. What do you guys want to see? What type of content would you like to have? You know, how can we help you? How can Ron and I help you in your journey of being content creators? Because that's what we are right now, right?
Damn. Content creators.
Yeah, we have to put a label onto it. We're not influencers.
No,
we're not. Content creators. We're actually creating content for the people out there. By the way, in saying that, we have 3 subscribers on YouTube and we have 18 views on our first videos.
Hey,
how about
pretty
that?
Good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's it.
That's it, man. See ya.
See ya.